Good evening, morning, and afternoon, freaks and geeks. This is Railuge, and today I'm bringing another personal story. This time, I got a couple really weird-ass dreams that I had recently. First one, I actually had some kind of interesting, party game possibility in it. It falls into one of those weird dreams where I strangely went back to school. I don't know, I've been having a lot of those where it's like, it doesn't matter, elementary, middle, high, college, doesn't matter. For some reason I go back to school and I get frustrated at school and I leave. But with this one, I was already a teenager. And my little brother was there too, and he was like the appropriate age. But the weird thing is, my English high school teacher was there. And we were doing a game. I can't remember the first half of it. But the second half, one person was Alice, like in Alice in Wonderland. And everybody else had some extremely weird trait to them. But this trait was determined by the item you picked up at the beginning. Of course, I went and grabbed an axe. So my character was infatuated with trying to trim the tree. But the gag was that both the tree and the axe were plastic. But the weird thing was, I personally thought that the rest of the game, Alice had to come through and talk to each person and find the person they were supposed to look for or something. But instead what was supposed to happen was that Alice was supposed to try to leave the room without being caught. And nobody was told this. So first Alice is creeping through the room. So the teacher called Alice back in and was like, no, this is how it's supposed to happen. But apparently just tagging the person wasn't good enough. We were supposed to escort Alice back to the entrance. And so it's like these weird traits that each of the characters have didn't amount to anything. It was just, oh, you have these weird traits, oh, ha ha ha, go catch Alice. But one of the main reasons why I wanted to get this recorded, mainly because personal stories, but go away, virus protection. But I think it would be an interesting party game to play. Have a table set with a bunch of weird items, and each item has a little note on it, and the note tells you how you're supposed to act. And one of those items would have a person that the person that's designated as Alice is supposed to find and do something with. But of course, the person that is it doesn't tell the Alice that they're it. If they do talk to them, they have to figure it out on their own. I think it would be interesting, and I want to try that sometime. My second story, and hun, do not react to this one. It's a bit. My second story for today, I am putting a trigger warning here. Trigger! I love my new trigger warning. So, if you're under the age of 18, please stop the video here. If you are a fan of My Little Ponies and don't want to hear anything that even remotely is not is not even anywhere near the age rating that the show is. Like, if you're against people being like all violent with the My Little Pony characters, stop the video here. If you're not a fan of My Little Ponies and you hate everything My Little Pony, stop the video here. And if
everybody just get off the video here.
And if you are triggered by rape, stop the video here.
Oh, I'm leaving.
So, there's this pony, this male pony, named Spark Jolt or something like that. But I'm going to go with Spark Jolt because that's what I can remember. And he was kind of like the male... What the fuck? He was the male version of Rainbow Dash, but his narcissism is like brought up quite a few notches. And he shows up in Ponyville and he's boasting that he's the best racer ever. And of course, Rainbow Dash is like saying, he's like, oh, psh, I'm the best racer. But before like the big race, he wanted to get like a new outfit on to show off. He wanted kind of like a shawl.
Potato!
And like a cape. So he went to Rarity. And she's asking him all these questions, and he's getting really into it, and he's like, I've never had anybody actually like try to figure out what I actually want with my costume. They usually just put their own stuff on it. And so he's like watching her work, and he's getting really into it, and he's all like, you know, you are such a beautiful, intelligent pony. Of course, she looks at me and she goes, okay. And he asks her out, and she declines. And he doesn't like that. So he actually attempts to rape Rarity right there. But Rarity kind of like just like slams him against the wall with her magic, pins him down, and just throws his costume on him and kicks him out the door. So he's a little pissed off, but he doesn't mess with her again. He just goes on to the race with Rainbow Dash. And it turns out that Rainbow Dash actually is a little bit faster than he is. I mean, it's not like to the point where she was boosting like in front of him. They were pretty much neck to neck, but she started getting ahead of him, and that's when he bashed right into her. And of course, she gets pissed off, and she tries to knock him back, but he dodges her and knocks her down onto the ground. For some reason, it didn't show the actual raping, but he went down, and with like putting two and two together, you know what happened. And he leaves, and Rainbow Dash is left on the floor whimpering. It cuts to Applejack's farm, and Rarity is talking to her about what happened. And Rarity's kind of being a little intimidated, but Applejack assures her that everything's going to be fine, and she asks Rarity if she's talked to anybody else. And she slightly says no. And Applejack tells her that she probably should talk to someone else as well, namely Twilight Sparkle.
Princess!
Whatever! And so it cuts back to Spark Jolt, and he's flying through Ponyville. And who's the pony that has like the harp on her?
A harp?
Harp.
Oh, harp,
It was like something strings or something like that.
Heartstrings?
Heartstrings, I think.
I don't know.
I think it's heartstrings. I don't know. She's one side. You're making a lot of noise. I'm pretty sure it is being picked up.
Well, then they can suck my dick.
Okay. So he flies by and he sees heartstrings. And it doesn't show anything else from there, except for him swooping down and it's going black. And yeah, it's kind of like a TV show. I don't know. I can't explain that. But it cuts back to Rarity. And she's fussing around in her,
avant-garde.
yeah. She's fussing around in her place, making, like, just sewing, dresses together and whatnot. And, there's, like, a little, faint knock at the door. And she hesitates, and she hears it again, and she opens it. And this pure white unicorn is sitting there. She's, as far as I know, she's not from the show. Because I haven't seen any pony that was like pure white with white mane and a white tail. And she also had a rainbow swirl on her, and I believe her name was Rainbow Swirls.
Ice cream.
And she's like more timid than Fluttershy is. And she's talking to Rarity about this strange pony came into her house. So Rarity's talking to her and she's asking questions. She finds out that it is in fact Sparkjolt. And they're talking, and it turns out that Rainbow Swirls actually did not resist at all. And she even confides in Rarity that because of how, like, timid and shy she is, she never expected to actually be able to find anybody to love. So Rarity started talking about how it's like that's no reason to let anybody force himself on them. And then Rainbow Swirls said, well, I kind of liked it, and now I owe him a favor. And of course, Rarity does her usual, like, what? And Rainbow Swirl casts her little magic. The little rainbow, like, ribbon goes out and wraps around Rarity's horn. And Rarity looks shocked, and she's like, what are you doing? And then Sparkjolt bursts in and says that, tells Rainbow Swirls that she did a beautiful job, and he nuzzles her a little bit, and she blushes and she backs up into a corner. And then Sparkjolt does the usual, like, villain, like, ha ha ha, I win because of this. Things like, he found Rainbow Swirls and found that her magic cancels other unicorns' magic. Which is why Rainbow Swirls doesn't go out and talk to people, because her magic doesn't help people, and she's very timid. And so Sparkjolt lunges it towards Rarity, but Rarity knocks him aside, runs out, and he chases her, but then this purple force field goes between him and Rarity runs out the house. And of course, Sparks runs right into it, and Princess Twilight Sparkle walks out and says, I knew you would be back. Your ego wouldn't let you leave. And so they basically start having kind of like a magic battle where she's trying to hit Sparks with her magic, but Sparks is way too fast, and he's trying to, like, dive at her, and she, like, teleports out the way. And Rainbow Swirl is still in the corner, like, cowering. And I can't remember what Twilight Sparkle was saying, but she wasn't really shouting out to Rainbow Swirls. She was more of insulting Sparks for, well, I can't think of the word, degrading her friends. And Rainbow Swirl starts realizing that she was kind of being a shitty person. And she remembers the battle with Tyriak, because the battle inside the house kind of looked like it. And she remembered that Tyriak absorbed the pony's ability to fly, the Pegasus. And so she started wondering if her power can stop other Pegasus from flying. So she starts trying to hit Sparks with her power, but she's too slow with it. And Sparks doesn't even notice that he's not being hit by the magic. But Twilight Sparkle notices it. And while she's flying around, she purposely goes in front of Rainbow Swirl's magic, and it hits her. And she falls. And so Sparks lands, and he looks over at Rainbow Swirl, and he's like, "Oh, that was a nice shot. I didn't even notice you were trying to shoot her." And then he goes up and he starts gloating to Twilight Sparkle, and she's like, "There's one thing that you absolutely did not notice. It wasn't me she was trying to hit." And then he got hit by Rainbow Swirl's magic, and she bound up his wings. But Twilight Sparkle stands up, and she flexes her wings, and the rainbow ribbons shatter everywhere. So Sparks does that, but he can't. He's still like bound up. And so Twilight Sparkle wrapped him up in a magic ball and just shot him straight out of the house. And the whole thing ended with Rarity coming to talk to Rainbow Dash, because Rainbow Dash was in her house and she was feeling stupid for the whole situation, letting herself get taken over like that. But Rarity reassured her that it wasn't her fault. No one knew how much of a jerk he was. But they were able to get Twilight Sparkle's help, because not only did Applejack tell Princess Twilight Sparkle what was going on, but so did Heartstrings. So they were able to devise a plan, because they had a feeling that he was going to try to come back to Rarity. So Rarity was
so on the bait.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, I'll be the bait." And sure enough, Sparks came up with a plan to try to get Rarity again. So that was the extremely weird adult episode of My Little Pony dream that I had. And I usually don't dream about other shows. And if I do, I'm part of it. Like the time I dreamt that I was Digidestined, but what kid in the 90s didn't have that dream? So
I didn't.
Oh, there's my answer. So those are two extremely bizarre dreams I had recently. I do plan on sharing some other dreams, especially this one off-the-wall reoccurring dream. I've been talking on for about 20 minutes, although that's because I'm editing this actually. So that's going to have to be for another day. If you like to hear those kind of stories, do subscribe so you don't miss it. But I wanted to start another thing since I've actually moved. I would like to read other people's stories. I don't care if it's fake, if it's actual fiction, even if you're like writing a novel and you would like to hear the first chapter actually read out loud and get some criticism on it, send it my way. I'll happily do that, and I'll even give you a shout out, especially if you're actually trying to write the book. And if I actually like it, I might actually buy the book. Who knows? So, subscribe if you like to see that as well. Let me know what you think about it in this video in the comment section down below. And until next time, stay magical.